gals, and welcome to the Monday, September 8th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. We're going to try this again. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I have set up a live stream and been ready to rock and roll. And I don't know if it's the company doing their reset or what the deal is, but if you guys remember 3 weeks ago, we only got like 20 or 25 minutes into the stream, and all of a sudden, spinny, 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 spinny. It was telling me that I was still live, but nothing was coming through on the screen. I sat here and worked on it for probably 10 minutes, and the computer was indicating that we still had full strength on the Wi-Fi, but for some reason this thing was going spinny, spinny, spinny. This was showing live. The computer was telling me that we still had our full Wi-Fi, but for some reason it wasn't going through. So for 2 weeks now, the same bloody damn thing. I have been coming in here, getting up early on a day I don't got to get up early because I don't got to work. And I come in here, I set it up, and lo and behold, not 15 minutes before it's supposed to start, YouTube is not working. So we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I got to go in here. Today's not a good day for the old eyeball. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Sarah. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. Hello, Sarah. Dog. Yeah, okay. So far, so good. I'm not doing a spinny yet. So, hey, as long as that keeps up. I mean, I don't want to throw it out in the universe or anything, but oh, man. June. Oh, no, not June. Oh, it's okay. I mean, that's technology for you. I mean, it's technology. It's like going on an investigation. How many times have I gone on an investigation and technology let me down? So, I mean, that's par for course. It's technology. It was created to complicate our lives. Well, it was created to help our lives, but but so what's the weather like where y'all are at? It's colder than a well digger's butt and cast iron drawers out here this morning. It was 42 degrees yesterday morning when I went to work. It was 42 degrees this morning when I got up. We're only up to 45 degrees right now, but the sun's just now coming up. So, well, no, I can see actual sunlight. So, probably a half hour now the sun's been coming up. We've only gone up 2 degrees. So, we'll see. I had to take the trash down to the curb lawn at 6 o'clock this morning. And I got outside, grabbed the trash can, started walking down the drive to the alley. And I was thinking, like, man, I should have grabbed a coat. It's chilly. Oh, let's see here. I ordered two guitars a week. We're so back. Very cool. I know how much I know how much you love your guitars, man. I didn't intend to buy the second, but late night browsing can be problematic. Tell me about it. But for me, it's more like late night window shopping. You know, I think, okay, I need to see how much a new mic is going to cost, or I need to see how much a smaller light source to go out is going to cost, or, a mixing board for the podcast, or something. And, it's like, geez, criminy. Yep, this is window shopping. Not even Santa Claus has the budget for some of these things. So we'll just stay where we're at. I want to get a Wi-Fi amplifier and plug it in back here behind the computer and get it programmed to our Wi-Fi, so it'll amplify the signal in here. Maybe that will eliminate some of the issues. But um, well, I wasn't shopping per se, just looking at pretties. You sound so much like my buddy Mike. Since he quit doing reenactments, he has turned his life back to his guitars. And I bet in the 2 years I have seen 15 guitars come and go out of his place. And right now he's got some pretty expensive acoustics and a couple electrics over there. And every time I turn around, if it's not a new gun, it's a new guitar. Hope you guys have been keeping track of Jan and Jay's European travels. Whenever I happen to catch a video or catch a posting on Facebook or something, I always comment. I haven't seen many of them though, but I don't spend very much time on Facebook. So, on whenever we have a new video premiere or something, or Paranormal Papa's podcast, I'll go on to the different paranormal channels and share it out and stuff like that. But I don't spend much time on Facebook. It's a dangerous place. Um, it's cold this morning. I love it. 47. Yeah, you're just a couple of degrees above where we are right now. Jealous. It is 41 here at the moment. Yeah, I've noticed that the weather forecast can't even agree what the weather is going to do right now. One of them says we're going to warm up for the next 5 days, getting up into the 70s for the highs, and then on the sixth day drop back down to the low 60s. Um, the wife says it's going to be 70 today and gradually get warmer, and there's no sign of cold weather. And it's like, man, can you all agree? Can you all agree? That is the source of more arguments in this household. I mean, I'm an old dude. All I ever do is watch the weather. So, you know, she's 12 years younger than I am. So she has other things to watch. Um, I'm not going to work today because I'm ill. Why did you have to go to work on a Sunday? I always work on Sunday. I only get 1 day off a week. Now, a lot of times, if I want to kind of, cheat, I will go in like on a Saturday morning and then go back in on Saturday night and do everything for Sunday. That way, I actually kind of get Sunday, Monday, and most of the day Tuesday off. But schedule wise, I always only have Mondays off. Now, the 20th through like the 3rd, um, I'm gonna be off that whole week. Our 1 year anniversary is um, they're gonna celebrate it from the 22nd or 23rd through the 3rd. But we have that Ghostorama ghost hunt on the 20th. So even before I knew that we were going to be off for that week, I scheduled the 20th and 21st off because it doesn't end till like 1 a.m. And there's no possible way I could be up all day Saturday and all day Sunday and then go in Sunday evening or go Sunday morning after being up all day Saturday and not sleeping Saturday night and do what I need to do. So, let's see here. I'm sorry you're feeling ill, Sarah. Hey, me. Good morning. Hope you're doing good this morning, bud. Yeah, for some reason, I thought you only had to work weekends. That's why I was confused about Sunday. Just lurking. Lurk away, bud. No, I always work Tuesday through Sunday. Um, of course, everybody else in the place gets Monday and Tuesday off because we don't open again until Wednesday at 3 p.m. But yeah, I'm the lucky one. Which is good because I can go in on Tuesday and get everything made for Wednesday. Throw my big Hobart mixing pots into the dishwasher and leave out everything I need, get everything washed that I need to run the dough on Wednesday. I can get it washed, put it in the racks, and have everything right there on Wednesday morning. Go right back in. I don't got to fish everything out and look for it, and get everything done really fast on Wednesday morning, so I can be out of there before 10 o'clock when the prep people and setup come in. So yeah. Oh man, I hope everybody has had a good week though. Good couple weeks since the last time I was able to get on here with this crappy Wi-Fi. But so have you guys heard the latest in this long stream of the Zach Baggins mishaps? You know, it's been very interesting. For quick catch up for those of you that didn't know, you know, I am a fan of Ghost Adventures. I love to watch the show, you know, for entertainment purposes. And for the last couple years, well, for the last year. There have been hundreds of people who would get on the Ghost Adventure website or Facebook pages or something, and they would comment on an investigation video or something, and they would get an email or a message from Zach. And this happened to my mother in law. God bless her. She's lonely. She admires him. Anybody in their 60s, you know, retired, living alone, don't go out and do a lot. They spend a lot of time watching TV and listening to music. And, she made a comment on one of the investigation videos, and lo and behold, she got a message on Messenger from the real Zach Baggins, the name of the page. And, they talked back and forth a little bit, and he gave her a phone number where, well, they exchanged phone numbers, let's put it that way. She started getting video chats. She started getting live chats. She started getting phone calls. And each and every time it was his face and his voice. And, this went on for several months. And, she had actually, in her comment on the video, talked about me and our group going out and doing investigations and how authentic and real we were. And she's been on investigations with us and seen everything that we reported to be seen. And he wanted to meet me. So it all started last year with him contacting her and saying that he was coming to Michigan to do an investigation since he'd done his videography training and stuff at Michigan State University. And he used to live here in Michigan. And, well, to make a long story short, she dingle dorked up. She sent some money to him because, a reservation on a car died out or something like that, and they had to get a new car. And we told her then, why we're a millionaire, not have a credit card or something that he could use to rent a new car. And, she was starstruck. She was in love. She was this and that. She was something else. Here within the last 3 weeks, a lady showed up at his door in Las Vegas. And she was beating on that door, trying to talk to him. He finally had to call the police. And when the police arrived, the story came out that she had been talking to Zach Baggins for over a year. And to help him out, tickets to the museum, sponsorships, stuff like that, she had sent him over $100,000. And it finally came down to the point where he wanted her to fly to Las Vegas and even supplied the address. He wanted to meet her. He wanted to take her on a personal tour through the museum. He wanted to take her on investigations. He wanted to do all this. And she flew to Las Vegas. She showed up at the address, and Zach did not know anything about it. Nothing. That's when police have finally started realizing there is a huge scam going on with people using AI to mask their voice or to change their appearance in these live chats and stuff. And they're basically targeting retired women that are starstruck and getting money from them. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let me see here. Just looking. How's the new paranormal channel working out? Paranormal channel is working out great. It seems like every day, every couple of days, we get some new subscribers. Of course, I'm still doing my paranormal flashback feature, where I'm moving our really nice investigations from this channel over to that one. Fridays, I do Paranormal Papa Podcast. I'm trying to get a good supply of those built up before I start trying to publish the podcast on podcast networks. Um, but yeah, we're staying busy. Hey, Squatchy. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're still here to hear me say hi. Um, Popped in on a couple of your late night live streams. Of course, y'all were chatterboxing about stuff I didn't know nothing about, so I just liked them. And I've said hi a couple times and shot back out because I had to go to work. The story of my life. Oh, there you are. You are still here. Well, you always pop in here and say hi. Of course, I'm going to pop in and give you a little thumbs up and give you a little love. Like I said, sometimes y'all are just chatterboxing up there, and I know, I'm easy to overlook. I'm just a little dude in a big long chat of folks. You got yourself a hell of a fan base. People love you. Oh. If y'all are ever up at night and you happen to see Squatch come on with one of his live streams, he talks about some pretty good stuff. Of course, I'm a dingleberry, so I don't know about a lot of the things he's talking about on there. And I'm usually in a rush in the morning anyway to down as a half pot of coffee and get dressed and take off walking. So I don't have a lot of time to sit back and chat in the morning. But he's got some good stuff on there. He's always got some good guests. I've been told I have too many interests. Maybe. But what is too many interests? Ah, I wouldn't mind going back on again. I always liked sitting back and chatting with you when I'm not running the chat. Gives me a little bit more time to concentrate on the host and their questions and interests and stuff like that. I'm so tired. I actually turned off my alarm yesterday, and because it's been a busy weekend. I went in Saturday morning, worked for 5 hours, Only slept for like 3 hours Friday night. And I got home Saturday morning, and the wife surprised me, and at a quarter till 10, all of us took off and went to the Bristol, Indiana Corn Dog Festival. Yep, there is a corn dog festival. And Bristol, Indiana is the home of Meridian corn dogs and or medallion corn dogs. And they are the corn dog capital of the world. So they hold this big festival in town, and got bands playing all day long, and the park is completely filled with vendors and um, bands and funny people, weird costumes and stuff. So we went down there. The wife told me, she goes, "You have got a day of corn dogs." It was not a day of corn dogs. It was a day of seeing corn dogs and watching other people eat them. People that didn't want to see the rest of the festival, that just went out there to get the corn. I mean, I enjoyed the corn dog eating contest. I could have won both of them. I mean, anybody that could only eat 6 corn dogs in 3 minutes, uh, no, I would not call that a champion. I would call that a simpleton. Um, but I was not going to spend $22 for a corn dog or $20 for a corn dog. Um, for the it'd be $60. Well, after tax, about $65 for the three of us to have a corn dog. And I was like, no. Not to mention the fact, by the time we got there, half hour after it started, there was probably 600 people in line for a corn dog. No. Not only no, but hell no. I do not like corn dogs that much. Not when I can go to the store and I can buy a box of 22 corn dogs for $8 and change. And it's the same size. There was nothing special about them except the fact they were medallion corn dogs. But we snacked around, popcorn, stuff like that, and left there and drove into Elkhart and went to Walmart and got me a box of 22 corn dogs. And the wife, of course, fixed me 6 corn dogs. They were gone in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And she said, "Yep, you could have won both them checks. Come home a couple $100 richer for winning, and with a full belly, and then she wouldn't have had to spend the money on corn dogs." But it was still interesting nonetheless. I mean, free corn dogs, I'm there. Oh, but yeah, all day out there, got home, ate my corn dogs, was watching TV with her, passed out at like 7 o'clock, woke up at 9, like 9:03 or something like that, and sat there and watched TV with her till she fell asleep. Then I laid back down, slept, from like 11 to 1. So I got like a total of 4 hours of sleep Saturday. Went in yesterday, done my thing, came home, slept for 3 hours, got up, got the house clean, pressed out some pizza dough to make dinner last night. She stopped at the store on the way home, got all the goodies. So, we had my garlic butter crust and, pepperoni, sausage, cheese. Of course, I like a supreme. I want all the stuff on it. I'm a pizzatarian. You know, I'm, I want olives, pepperoni, sausage, and burger, and all kinds of stuff on But yeah, been up this morning working on the next uh, paranormal flashback, and later on today, I'm going to try to do something with the next podcast. Don't know though. The wife's going to be leaving here very shortly. What time is it? I can't. Yeah, well, she'll be leaving here in the next couple minutes, as a matter of fact. So I got to remember when if she comes in here to kiss me goodbye, I gotta turn my chair this way so she can't see Lady Cassandra back here. She hates dolls. She don't even. I don't even think she knows Cassandra's here. Might be a little bit of hell to pay if she does. But yeah, it's been a pretty busy couple weeks. I'm waiting for this first frost that they're saying is going to be coming here really soon. Maybe then I can get out and mow the yard one more time without the fear of dying from ground hornets. Because she tried everything to get rid of those ground hornets when she got stung here about a month ago. You know, she even went out there at night, put a screen over the hole, pinned it down with rocks, poured dish soap down the hole, almost a whole bottle of dish soap, put the water hose on it for like 4 hours, and 2 days we didn't see a single buzzer come out of there, and be damned if on the third day we see them coming in and out of there again. So that hive must be as big around as a damn flat screen TV.
I love you.
I love you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Good. You didn't have to turn my chair. Oh. Well, we had five. We're down to three. Hopefully, more folks will see that we're actually live this week. So far, oh, nobody's talking. Why ain't anybody talking? So what's wrong, Sarah? How you said you're ill? Ain't got much to say. Neither do I, really. You said you ain't, or you said you're ill, Sarah. What's wrong? Just kind of under the weather, or see the seasonal change. Think I'm gonna have me some leftover pizza when we get done here. Of course, here. Let me think. Today's the 8th. On the 13th, we're gonna have the public. Uh, we're calling it the Funiversary up at the brewery. Tie dye T-shirts, live music, all kinds of fun things going on up there for that. Um, and then in a week, I have got the Ghostorama Ghost Hunt. at the Italianette Gilmore House in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Um, in between, whole lot of pizza dough, whole lot of pizza dough. But we're at that time of the year when business is starting to drop off again. Uh, I've been making anywhere between 120 and 160 bowls a day. The other day I went into work. We had over 100 of them left in the cooler from the night before. Um, Starting to slow down. All the years that I have been in the food industry, though, um, I you know I forecast it. Just like Labor Day weekend. We had our open house for the schools the Wednesday before Labor Day weekend, or I'm sorry, a week and a half before Labor Day weekend. And I told them, I said, it's always going to get slow when it's time to go back to school because they don't realize what they're going to need for their kids until they go to open house on Wednesday night. And then the kids go back to school the following Monday. And sure enough, dead as hell over the weekend. And then the next weekend was Labor Day. I told them, I said, Labor Day can be iffy. Sometimes it's busy as hell, and other times it is dead as a cemetery. And sure enough, it was dead as a cemetery. And it's just continued to be dead. But it's that time of the year. The Lakers have all gone back to the big city. They've closed up their houses around Camp Ritchie Folk for the season. The ones that don't have somebody come in and take care of the house and stuff like that have already locked them up and set the alarms, and they'll come back again Memorial Day weekend. So that means hours are going to start getting cut again. Even worse, because right now I'm pulling less than 20 hours a week. So it's not going to be pretty. But the winter they're forecasting, it's going to be a little bit better because they're talking about a winter in this area like we have not seen in over 13 years. And 13 years ago, I was living down in Granger, Indiana, and we had over 6 feet of snow in one snowstorm. We literally had to go out and dig out and then snow blow in front of our mailboxes so the mail truck could pull up to them and just open. We couldn't even raise the flag on the mailbox. There was snow 14 inches above the top of the mailbox. So if it's that bad, I don't think anybody's ready for it. But they're actually forecasting snow before Halloween this year. We usually always have snow, whether it's an inch or just a dusting, or 2 years ago we had almost 5 inches of snow on the ground when the kids went out trick or treating, and it was still blowing at 7 or 6 o'clock when the kids went out trick or treating. Last year, nothing. So, but they're actually with this weather forecast, they're talking about snow before Halloween this year. So we'll just have to wait and see what that does. Um, Sorry, was making eggs. I can't fault you for that, darling. I love me egg sandwich or something. Oh, that sounds fun. Is the place you work at busy off tourist season? No, not really. Not really. Our busiest time of the year is when our what we call Lakers come in. Um, Prices all go up at our one grocery store. They replace a lot of our normal people food with a little bit a higher price and higher quality stuff. Um, of course, the B&Bs all open up, and you know, everybody comes in from like Nashville and Chicago and Columbus, Ohio, and stuff like that, and they come in here and they open up their homes and stay here for 3 or 4 months, and then right after Labor Day, they lock it all up, set the alarms, and head back. So I there's times I really wish we had that kind of money to play with, but I see these people roll in here in their Mercedes and their BMWs and their Teslas, and they come into their two, three, four, $5 million homes and open them up for 4 months and then shut them down and go back to God knows what. I mean, if they got a $5 million 50,000 square foot 4 level home on the lake for a vacation home, I can't imagine what they live in. So, but I've also seen noses so far up in the air that you think they would damn near drown if it rains, and I don't want to become that. So, uh, it would be nice, to be able to travel the country and do investigations in different states and visit folks and stuff like that. And that's probably what we would do if we ever hit the lottery is, fix this place up, rent it out, buy a motor coach and travel the country and just visit folks. We'd set money aside for all the kids and the grandkids and stuff. But we were talking about it the other day when we seen that the Powerball was what, $1.8 billion or something like that. I told her we'd wind up walking away with about $700 million after taxes. We'd give $1 million to her son, give $1 million to my kids, fix this place up, buy all new equipment for in here and to do the investigations with, have a custom built motor coach, and just travel the country and do investigations for a living. I have never lived in a tourist town. No one wants to come where I live, but I don't blame them. Can't even imagine that 1.8 was split between two. Yeah, but still, you're talking after taxes, 1.8 billion. That's 999 million plus another, eight. Well, $1,800,000. So you're talking $800 million, $900 million each. So after taxes, that's still going to be $600 million each. If I won, I would 1,000% quit my job and moved to the coast. I would take my kids to cool places. This was the first year that they've been to the beach in their life. Thankful for my aunt. She took us all to Daytona. Good morning, Santee. Hope you're doing good. Great video Saturday, by the way. Sadly, I didn't catch it till, Sunday morning, yesterday morning, bright and like before the sun even woke up. But great video, man. I love me some Annie Oakley stories. With the death of Val Kilmer and them doing the Tombstone Days here, what, about a month or so ago, month and a half ago, you know, it got me thinking about the movie and Josie and the actors that came into Tombstone in that movie. And I just so much wanted to put something down in the comments like, "Hey Santee, can you do something on actors in the Old West?" And by the time I seen it, hell, it was 2,000, 3,000 views, and I wasn't sure if you'd see it, so I figured next time I talk to you. I thought it was interesting, actors in the Old West, the kind of stuff that they done. Did they do Shakespeare? Did they do what? I I thought it'd be interesting. We know what Josie done. She done Wyatt. I didn't get notification anymore for Arizona Ghost Riders. Just realized it. That was my Saturday morning go to when I had my coffee. I need to go check that out. Thanks for reminding me. I I noticed that as time rolls on, I start seeing less and less of my channels that I'm sub to, and I just had to go back and pull their channel back up, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and then make sure I hit the all, and I started seeing them again. So, one of them was actually Santee, um, probably 3 or 4 months ago. Just all of a sudden didn't get him, and I had to go look for him. And it's like I would check, and I was still subscribed, but I hadn't got anything for a couple weeks. So I had a chance to watch a couple, three videos, and then I unsubscribed, resubscribed, and made sure and hit all. And it's just fine now. He's popping up every week now. Um, I don't know why YouTube notifications always seem to disappear. I don't get it either. Um, Doggone eye, man. My left eye is so bad this morning. Let me see here. Been going on for a decade. Yeah, you still got a few years on me, bud. You always will. I'm ready for Halloween and spooky facts from the Old West. For instance, what did Jesse James dress up as for Halloween? A nun. He dressed up as a cowboy. I rarely get Townsend videos too. I need to go back and look at those. Yeah, I've not got anything from Townsend for several months. Not that I ever really got to watch a whole video or a live stream, but I would always go in and like them, try to watch as much of them as I could fit into a schedule and like them and leave a little comment or something. But John's been doing this stuff for a while, and I met him personally. He's a great guy. Of course, I see him at um, the Living History Trade Show in Kalamazoo in March every year that I go, and we talk. I think next time I go, I'm actually going to interview him. I quit. I quit recording the show because so many vendors don't want their wares shown on video for fear somebody's going to try to copy them. So I just quit. I quit recording. I'd take a few pictures here and there for myself, and that was about the extent of it. Of course, I never got money to go over there. Everything's so bloody damn expensive. The only thing that's not expensive are gun parts. Go figure. Well, there was a guy there 2 years ago when I went that had 3 barrels full of stocks and barrels, and he had a table full of locks and triggers. $200, I could have built 2 guns. I still get notifications from Arizona Ghost Riders. Um, a bandit. Jesse James dressed up as an upstanding citizen. But you'll get more traction during spooky season. We will see. I actually posted a paranormal podcast, I believe, for this coming Friday. And I even put across the top of it, welcome to the spooky season. So, but 2025 is also the first time I have ever seen them advertise Summerween. They started doing that over a month ago. A month and a half ago, they were advertising Summerween. Lowe's, Menards, all those places have started bringing in all their Halloween decorations already. Back a month and a half ago, and people been buying them out. So we'll see. Being the person I am, I'd love to be able to decorate my yard. I don't have hardly anything. I got to engineer things together to even look somewhat spooky, and it winds up just being comical. Y'all remember the little guns kids played with that had a roll of orange tape? That's when you shot it, and it would make a bang sound. Yeah, little pop guns. I had a couple of them. I'm obsessed with Salem, Massachusetts history. I would love to go on a tour. I'd love to go to Salem too. I'd love to go to Salem too. Of course, there's a couple places out there in Tucson where Santee's at that are big, ghosty Halloween locations. I'd love to go out there. Not only see Santee, but visit his work and go out to the little haunted places and stuff like that. I still got to somehow get out to Tucson with all my equipment and go out to where Bill Brazelton was killed at. Bet that would be interesting. We all know how Bill is. If If you guys will excuse me for a second, I don't even know what time it is. Oh, hell, I've been at this for almost an hour. I gotta make a beeline to the P line and take care of some business with a horse um, before I got a horse-sized mess to clean up. So give me just a sec. I'll be right back. Y'all, talk real nice amongst yourselves and stuff. I'll be back in a second. Oh, ouch. Oh, and we are back. Of course, when I first got to the festival on Saturday, the first thing we saw was a costume contest for wiener dogs. We walked up. That's what the daughter wanted to see. That's what the wife wanted to see. We got there. They had three dogs in the costume contest. They had an astronaut, they had an alien, and they had a dinosaur. The dinosaur was the only one that knew how to do any tricks, and it stood up on its hind legs and walked, so it looked like a dinosaur. The lady standing beside us said, "I remember back when this contest took hours because they had so many dogs dressed up in costumes." Of course, it was supposed to be a corn dog contest, but I guess nobody took the time to go out and order a corn dog um, costume for their wiener dog. I mean, who would have ever thought of having astronauts and aliens at a corn dog festival? It was supposed to be corn dogs with no corn dogs. Um, Let me see here. I tried to find one for my son. Waverly Sanatorium could be fun one. Not sure where it is. Yeah, I forget what state it's in right now. I think it's in Illinois. No, it's not in Illinois. It's out east somewhere. But there's a few of them I'd like to go to. We just don't have the funds to pay these, $3, $4, $500 rentals to go through. I keep saying maybe one of those days, you know, Paranormal Papa Investigations, Paranormal Papa Podcast is looking for sponsors and um, support. So we will see. Of course, I'm also trying to build a couple new crews, one south, one north. With Mark's work schedule, it is so hard for him to get off. Um, I knew going to work for the sheriff's department was going to be rough on him. We don't even get to talk that much anymore because he's either working or sleep. Never heard of Waverly. I like to go to the hot springs in Alabama. Heard it's haunted. Yeah, there's a hot springs in Alabama, and there's one in Colorado, I think, that are both supposed to be very haunted. Um, it was in the festival was in Bristol, Indiana, just down over the line of southeast of us, just almost directly east of Elkhart, Indiana. Um, make a collar pendant from a can of corn. If you have weenie dog, it should be mandatory. You dress it up as a hot dog for Halloween. Oh, I agree. I agree completely. I live in Virginia, but I'm on the West Virginia border, and there's a sanatorium in West Virginia that's a couple hours that's supposedly haunted. Yeah, I've actually seen videos from sanatorium over there in West Virginia. Uh, that place just seems spooky. It seems eerie before you even get inside it, let alone let alone actually going in the dark and doing an investigation. Of course, we can't get into Michigan State Prison anymore because they have turned it into. Um, they've revamped most of it into business offices, and then there's some apartments in there now. So just about all your video is going to be contaminated by noise of one kind or another. Um, not seen anybody go there in a long time. Arkansas. What about Arkansas, Tony? Oh, Hot Springs. Yeah, I didn't know about the one in Arkansas. Um, of course, I'd love to get out there to the Ozarks. Um, they of course have um, the what do they call it, the Ozark Monster or something like that. Legends, which is the same as Bigfoot or the Dog Man here in Michigan. Um, I would still like to set up some kind of a documentary crew and travel up to the state forest here. It's only like an hour and a half northwest of me, and but there have been reports um, of the Dog Man since before the Michigan Dog Man song came out, and I have had people on this channel during the old Ghost to Ghost PM that grew up in that area, and she swore up and down that she's seen and heard things. Her mom and dad still to this day live right on the edge of Manistee State Forest. And she swore up and down that her dad has shot at and chased off things at night that they have seen walk out of the woods and be looking around their property and stuff. And they would hear something, and he would open the front door with the shotgun, fire off a couple shots, and it would run back in the woods. But Yeah, I'd still love to do that. It's just getting folks together that want to go camping in October. You guys know I'm a hardballer. I'll go out there in October. Hell, I've camped in the snow. I don't care. But yeah, it's finding folks that want to go camping in October in a state forest when off season when there's not campers and stuff there. The strength in numbers, I guess. I don't know. Of course, I'm still talking to. I don't want to drop any names here. Folks out in the big streaming services about trying to get paranormal papa investigations and stuff on the channels. But all of them are telling me, they need to see some. They want to see how we handle investigations at the more popular haunts. They want to see newer equipment and stuff like that. And it's like, well, we can only do what we can do. So until we get some backing, it's kind of hard to yeah, y'all understand. I prefer strength in superior firepower. Well, you better bet beyond a shadow of a doubt if we're able to get up to the state forest off season when we're going to be the only ones camping up there to film a documentary, somebody is going to be carrying a registered firearm. Because not only is it north of us, but it's also closer to the lake, which means they normally have snow before we do down here. So, uh, whoever is lucky enough to be carrying is going to have a concealed license because they're going to have to wear a coat. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm still game for it. Hell, I'll even tie a pork chop around my neck if it and use myself as bait for the trap. Maybe, depending upon how fast I can run. Then again, I only got to be faster than the slowest guy in the group. So as I'm running by him, I'll throw my pork chop to him and say, "Here, hold this for me." I'm not above sacrificing to get good footage for y'all. Out of coffee. That's 1.5 pots gone today. Hey, Brenna. Good to see you, sweetheart. Hope you're doing good this morning. I've not, uh, I've not seen anything new come out of that feller in a while. Hope he didn't get laryngitis or something. I took a shot of bourbon. It's bad, I know, but I feel so ill. I had to do something to make me not feel bad so I can clean and stuff since I'm off work. I don't blame you. Hopefully, hopefully it works and gets you feeling just a little bit better, or inebriated enough that you really don't care how you feel. I mean, either way, it still works. I never really ran across anyone who felt better after drinking bourbon. Well, I mean, the first couple, and then you start to feel kind of again. But yeah, he's in bed right now. His insomnia has been bad. Good morning, Drew. I haven't chatted with you in quite a while. Good morning, Skipper. Good to see you, bud. It has been a while. Then again, I've not really chatted in a while. We've been having some serious Wi Fi issues around here. I don't know if T Mobile is just doing their maintenance or their updates or what, but the last couple weeks, well, 3 weeks ago, I tried to stream and I think it lasted like 20 minutes or half hour, and I was still showing like I was, live. The computer was telling me I had a full Wi-Fi signal, but the screen was doing spinny, spinny, spinny. And then for the last 2 weeks, I've tried to set up a stream, and at about a quarter till 8 my time, 10 till 8, we just lose Wi-Fi. It didn't come back on 2 weeks ago for almost 3 hours. So no clue. I went out, tried to reset the modem and stuff, and there was just no Wi-Fi. TVs wouldn't work, computers wouldn't work, phones wouldn't work. Well, we couldn't chat or anything on them. So, but this so far so far today. Um, it's good to see you again, bud. I took off because I feel like crap, but I at least want to work at home, like laundry, etc. I can't stand sitting at home. Just took the second shot. I just want to get a little buzz so I don't think about being sick. I hate lying down. I love sleeping. I love sleeping. I think I do more sleeping now than I ever have. I'll sleep my 2 or 3, 4 hours at night, go to work, come back, eat something, lay down for 2, 3, 4 hours. Hell, the other day, I didn't lay down when I got home, and I slept for like 7 straight hours. I woke up after the wife woke up, and she was sitting there in bed watching me sleep. And she said, I actually put my fingers on your wrist to see if you were still alive. She said you weren't snoring. I couldn't even hear you breathing. You were just laying there on your belly with your face turned away from me. She said I reached up under your pillow and had to take pulse. She goes, it is not like you to still be in bed at 7:30 in the morning. I said, I'm old. I said, and it's good practice for you because I'm going to die before you. So, you just might try that some morning and not mind a pulse. Of course, she looked at me with all the love that she could muster in her eyes, and she said, I better get busy finding life insurance. Can you feel the love? I should be good in a few to do dishes and laundry and make beds before I lay down. I may get more chatty. I like Buzzy Sarah. We've chatted a couple times, and I like Buzzy Sarah. So frustrating. Be right back. You're not alone. I sleep a lot more now that I'm older as well. It happens. We got to find that energy somewhere, and if we find it with our eyes closed and our head on a pillow, I'm all for it. Sleeping is my favorite thing. Oh gosh, I look around and see things are done. I get so upset. See things are done. I get so upset. By the way, this is odd but true. I will take a video and send it to you if I step on a certain floorboard. A bell rings. Wow. Yeah, I definitely want to see that. Give me a second and I'll do it. And if you can check your messages, Facebook, you can show everyone else. I'll be right back. Cool. Kick this phone screen on so it'll show up on top of the screen. I can see it's you. Yeah, I really honestly need to. I need to do some more stuff around here too. I'm just so bloody tired. Not sleeping at night. I very rarely go and do anything outside of work. I get up at between one and yeah, between 1 and 3 in the morning. I drink, a half pot of coffee, get dressed, walk to work, go in there for 3 or 4 or 5 hours, depending on the day. Walk back home in the sunlight, which gives me a headache, even with my sunglasses on. Gives me a real bad headache. I come home, I close myself up in the house, put on the sweats, and watch TV until I fall asleep. The wife wonders, why didn't you do dishes? Why didn't you sweep the floor? I said, because by the time I woke up, the sun was coming in the west window right over the sink, and everything was just a white, hazy blur. I don't know if you guys are throwing knives in the sink or not. And I don't want to go get stitches. I like my hands the way they are. Well, I'm not crazy about this one because of the neuropathy. I got that constant numbness in them and stuff like that. But other than that, I like my hands and I don't want to get stitches. Especially, there's nothing in the world like running a sink full of water and sticking your hand in there and picking it back out. You got a knife sticking up through the palm of your hand. Not on my top 10 list of fun things to try. I just sent the video. I look awful, no makeup, been sick. Did you hear it? I've not got it yet. I have got no beeps, dings, tweaks, nothing. So it might take a while to come in. I'm telling you, that beach trip was a life changer for me. Literally, I was depressed in the bed for days. I think you're depressed. I probably am. You know, the whole eyesight thing, not being able to go to a doctor unless I go to an ER, and then they want to prescribe medicine we can't afford, or want me to go see a specialist we can't afford. I went to my mom and dad were actually going to get health insurance for me, and they talked to their insurance guy in Tennessee, and he said, "Oh, our office in Michigan." And I called them, and it wasn't even a matter of being able to afford it. They were not taking any new, what do they call it? Any new clients, whatever it's called, that were below the age of retirement before January. Early enrollment. They were not doing any early enrollment unless it was some kind of a life changing, which they don't consider diabetes or blindness to be life changing. But they told me to get back a hold of them in January. So I'm really just hoping I'm not completely blind by then and can still get a hold of them and get on the enrollment plan in January, and then I can go and start getting these things taken care of. I'm with you on that one. I need to put I need to put wheel bearings in a truck, a starter on the Suburban, and straighten the garage, and don't feel much like doing anything. It happens. I mean, it happens. That's all. We get older and we lose energy, and we need to figure out how to get that energy back. Well, I just turned 40, and I'm telling you, I've been so sad because I was single. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough. But I realized I am good enough alone. That is a problem for a lot of folks. Realizing just because you're the good person that you are, people aren't crawling out of the woodwork to come and be good with you, because a lot of people don't want a good person, and because they're little cat shits, and they want someone stupid that's going to take their crap and everything, and you are not that person, you know. And yeah, sure, the right person for you may be out there somewhere still,